Hey everybody, how you doing? Hope you all had a beautiful day, a beautiful afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of God Concept Podcast, where I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. On this episode, we're gonna dive into your soul journeys, a soul journey. You know what does that entail? You know what is the soul journey about? What is your soul's journey about in life? Those are the soul rules, right? Your soul journey, you might not even fully comprehend. You might not even understand your soul's journey. You might not know the mission that your soul was on its previous life. In fact, you know, it's almost like a fact that nobody knows that. It's almost a given that nobody knows what they've been through in the last lifetime. Because your soul lived many lifetimes. Many lifetimes your soul lived. You know what I mean? Your soul has been in different places, in different times of time, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like in different times of time, your soul has been in many different places. You know what I mean? When you reading about ancient history and things like that, do you know your soul was there before? Your soul's been there before. You know, your soul been on this journey for a long time. You know, I don't you know, I'm thinking that this soul journey does come to an end because we live and we die. But does it ever really end? Like, do we have to come back to do this again? Like, and again, and again, and again. You know, my theory is that, I mean, not my theory, but my belief is that everything is seen, heard, and recorded into your Akashic records, right? Everybody believe in the Akashic records and things like that, as far as I know. But it's like, you know, it's just, I don't want to hear that song. My fault. It's just, your purpose here is more than what you even believe it to be. Your purpose on this earth is more than what we believe it to be. You know, we let our own hangups and things like that get in the way of our soul's journey. You know, what do your soul really love to do? You know, what is it that your soul love to do? What is it that you desire to do? Your passion. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about anything negativity, because some people believe that the soul is here to, to be negative. I mean, you got negative people out here. You got negative beings out here. People with just negativity in their heart and their soul. But are you seeing clearly, right? The mission that you're supposed to be on. If you too indulgent into negativity, if you're too wound up in things that happen in life, you know, just reading something 1 second. You know, that's like you're too wound up in things that's happening in your everyday life. You know, some people, they can't cope with things that's happening in everyday life. Sometimes life itself will get in the way of your journey. Just us trying to figure all this shit out that we going through, that where we've been, and people we dealing with and things like that. I'm just, I'm tired of allowing somebody to get in my way of what my ultimate goal is. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of it. And it's not that they mean to do it. You know what I mean? I believe that some people genuinely mean to do well by you, and they really want to see you do well. But some people, they just don't. Some people, they can't. Like, they're incapable of not being a journey blocker. You know what I mean? Like they just incapable of it, for whatever shit that they've been through in their life, for whatever's in their soul and their heart in their mind, on their thoughts and things like that. It's sad, man, because we grow to love people, we grow to respect people, and then once you notice that in a person, it's like you have to. It's your duty. It's your duty to remove yourself from that situation, to remove yourself from that person. You know what I mean? It's your duty to do that. Sometimes you can, find an exit strategy and get away from a person or a place or something like that, or put something down and put in your mind that I don't need that. You know what I mean? I.e., drugs, drinking, women, things like this. But it's just, I think that it's by design in a way, but it's about the choices that you make, right? And it's the choices that others make, or situations that others put you in, that influence the choice that you have to make. Sometimes the choice is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's just not comfortable making the choice that you have to make. But ultimately, you got to choose you at the end of the day. Ultimately, you have to choose you. If you're not choosing you at the end of the day, then you let somebody else choose for you. Sometimes a person won't choose for you. But if you're not choosing, if you're not wise, if you're not conscious of what's going on, then a person will lead you astray. You know what I mean? A person will use you and manipulate you and things like that. People often think that you can only be manipulated if you have something of value to be manipulated for, right? All volume isn't measured in money, diamonds, and this and that. Sometimes a person will use you for your time, for your energy. Some people will use you to be a babysitter to their children. Some people will use you to just watch their house. Some people will use you for sex. Some people use you for drugs, or whatever the case may be. But it's sad because, I've seen a lot of people with great potential, you know what I mean? And they let themselves fuck up their mission in life, their soul's journey in life, by chasing things that really don't, you know what I mean? It may seem like it has some type of monetary value, but it really doesn't. You know what I mean? And ultimately, that leaves you to being a person with a tormented soul. A soul that dies, or that lives or dies on this plane of existence, or on the next, right? It dies with hatred, vengefulness, and shit like that in their heart. You know what I mean? And it just, it's a bad thing to really. My bad, the camera just shake. It's not. I mean, when we wake up from this life, right? When we wake up from this life, and we notice, you know what I mean, and we get to have that closer look at where we actually originate from, because we don't originate from here. We don't really originate from here. But when we wake up from here, you get to see more of what your origins is. To live is to die. And once you die, it's the beginning of a new chapter. It's the beginning of something else. Death isn't permanent. Death isn't something that's, because once you leave here, maybe you get a reenactment. Maybe you get a replay. Some people say that they get flashes of their whole life flashing before their eyes before they die. Maybe that's what happened when you die, is you get to replay this thing, and you get to come back into this thing with a clearer understanding. But after you're done with that birthing process, after you're done with that, right? And we become 20, 30, whatever age, the vision gets foggy. The vision is unclear at that point. You're not really focused on the things or remember the same things that you do. You know what I mean? Or that you should have did. You know what I mean? Or the main mission, I should say. The main mission of why you came into this life in the first place. Yeah, your mom and dad, they bumped skins and they did this and that and you got here. Yeah. That's all well and good. But something made that happen. Something made them conceive, right? Whether it was lust, love, a one night stand, whatever the case may be, something made those two conceive. And once they conceived, your soul was within that seed. Somebody's soul is in conception, right? Right? To be conceived is to be concepted, right? It's to conceptualize. So your soul is there. Boom. Now you re-enter into this world, right? And once you here, I'm pretty sure when you're there, before you come here, you got a clear journey. You got a path that you're supposed to take. You know, maybe predicated, you know, maybe it's based upon your birthday. Maybe it's based upon a lot of different things. I don't know. The life that you will live after this or before this, right? But the whole thing is you was conceived and there was that you were a concept. You was conceptualized in somebody's ideas, in some higher being, in some creator's ideas, and that greater, broader, you know what I mean, view of the great beyond. You was conceived, you was conceptualized. You are who you are before you got here. In the words of Jay-Z. I think I said that in another podcast. It's like we just gotta everybody gotta realize that we all here. We're not perfect. You know, we're perfect in our creator's eyes because we're perfectly, you know, I would say we're perfectly imperfect. But I don't know how the creator views us. And I believe that all the creator's creations are perfect in the creator's eyes, right? But it's like, boom, you might not be perfect in another eyes. You might not be perfect to anybody else but you. And if you're not perfect to you, if you can't find that bit of perfection in you and actually hone that and craft that into what it should be, then you're lost. You know, a lot of us are lost out here on this soul journey. You know what I mean? I don't believe in coincidences anymore because there's been too many things that happen in my life that prove that coincidences are non-factual. You know what I mean? We could call them coincidences, but things happen for a reason. You was put in a place for a reason. It's just sad when you know the reason why you're in a person's life. You know the reason why you're in a certain place, but the environment around you doesn't allow you. The environment or the person or the situation doesn't allow you to really do what it was meant for you to do while you were there. You know what I mean? That's sad. You know, what sadder is, I mean, not sadder, but what's also sad is that, you know, it's okay for you to lose relationships and lose contact with people. That's all good. But it's sad when a person just, they don't care. They don't care about that. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. Anytime I've lost contact with somebody I love or loved in the past, it's always a sorrowful thing to me. Because, you know, you want to be around the person. You want to, you know, see them on their journey just like you want them to see you on yours. If they're not opposed to what it is that you're supposed to do or become or You know what I mean? As long as it's not that, you know. This thing is tricky by design, man. It's very tricky by design, and it's very eye-opening in a way once you really see life for what it actually is, and once you start understanding that, man, it's like you could try to help a person. Like you could, the old saying says, right? Like the old saying say, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You could drop a fish in a pond, but you can't make him swim. You know? You could tell a person what's right, and it'll just go in one ear out the other. You could tell a person what's right, and they'll just still do wrong. You know? It's sad. It's sad, man, but hey, it is what it is, man. This is life. I don't know. I don't know whether these things come about, you know, these things come about because of what you've been through in life, with you know what I mean, with you know what I mean, trauma, self-induced trauma from whomever it is you're supposed to be, you know, in a relationship with, this and that, friends or whomever, family, you know what I mean? It's just trauma upon trauma, and it's like at this point, you know what I mean? Because you know, in my last podcast or whatever, right? I was involved with somebody, but it's just they dealt with so much fucking trauma that it was affecting me. You know what I mean? Their shit, and I appreciate the person that I had. I appreciate them for the good things, but at the same time, the negativity that came along with the good moments at time really wasn't worth it. You know? You know, that toxic energy, man. It could transmute your positive energy into negative energy. I'm just tired of that happening to me, man. I'm tired of it happening. And I keep going down this road, this rabbit hole, like what the fuck? You know? They say two heads are better than one. And when you find that other head that you believe is you know what I mean? It's like you hope and pray that they got the same goals and everything in mind, that they got the same destiny and journey in mind, but some don't. Some don't, because they can't see outside themselves. They can't reprogram themselves. A lot of people just been programmed to the point where their thoughts are fucked up. You know, some people's thoughts are just fucked up. Some people's thoughts are just fucked up. The mind is fucked up. You know, it takes a lot of reprogramming, you know, by whatever means is it. Living life, maybe somebody might say something to you that'll snap you back into having the right state of mind. You know, sometimes it takes a hell of therapy or whatever the case may be, but some people just not right. You know, I got the capability to love someone, and it's hard doing this. I'm not going to bullshit you. It's hard doing this. I got the capability to love somebody and still let them go, right? And I mean, you know, most of us got that. You know what I mean? It's not no special thing. I could love somebody and let them go. But for me, it's just hard. It's really hard. I mean, I could imagine for a lot of you out there too. It's hard letting somebody go that you've grown accustomed to being with and living life with and things like that. It's hard. When I had to separate from my wife, it was hard. You know, my separation from my children is very, very hard. That's one that I'll never get over, one that I always will try to, you know, get back to, one that I'll always try to obtain, because anything that I acquire and I gain is good for them. Man, some people just, they want to ruin it all. You know what I mean? If they see you happy around your children, they'll try to ruin your happiness with your children. If they see you happy about a job you got, they'll try to ruin that. They see you happy about a new car you got or anything, any fucking thing. They'll try to ruin your joy with that. You know? It's just like when you went to school with a new pair of sneakers or anywhere with a new pair of sneakers and it seemed like everybody want to step on them. You know? It's just like that. It's like people just hate for some reason. For no reason. They just hate for some reason and no reason at all. It's just hate. I can't be around that hate, that toxic shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't do good for me. It doesn't do good for me. You know? It doesn't. It doesn't work well for anybody. You know? You gotta destroy the hatred and negativity in your heart. You know, that's my goal. To destroy hatred and negativity in my heart. Alright? It's God Concept Podcast. I'm Mr. Pagan. You know, I live life. You know what I mean? I'm still here bumping and feeling around trying to figure my way, right? And just today, you know, I had a situation where I work. People pull up to the job acting, you know what I mean? Acting fucked up with me. You know what I mean? Like they got a problem with me about a disagreement, a dispute, which I wasn't wrong about. How could you pull up on me and try to harass me, right? When it's not even my fault that the situation happened. You know, you mad at me because I'm just trying to be a good father to my daughter, or I'm trying to be a good man, or I'm doing the right thing, or I'm trying to progress in some type of way. And this is my lady that I was talking to, but no longer is. And it's like, this is the same person that was trying to, you know what I mean, that we was helping each other, that you know, helped me out in many ways, and I helped her out in many ways. But once you see that progress, she can't appreciate that, you know? And it's that way with a lot of people in your life, not just somebody that you're in a relationship. It could be a friend or whatever. That's a different type of relationship. It could be a family member, a brother, whomever. But it's just, that shit is tough dealing with, you know? I'm the type of person, I love when a person succeed. I love when I see somebody succeed. They doing well in life. They doing the things they got to do. They got everything in order and things like that. I mean, I think that's what I'm here for. I think that maybe we just two opposite ends of a battery. You know how you got the positive end of a battery and you got a negative end of a battery. Some people are just the negative end of life. And some people are on the positive end of life. You know? And I'm not gonna lie, I go through it, man. I go through depression. I have thoughts of this and that, and thoughts of, you know what I mean? Especially if somebody's giving me negativity, or if I'm not happy where I'm at. If I'm not happy where I'm at, that's the worst. You know, and I knew I had to get away from her because of the addictions, right? The alcohol addiction. I had to get away from her because of the aggression, right? Just the anger, you know what I mean? The bitterness that was there, you know, and I had to get away just for my own peace of mind. You know, I just had to get away, you know what I mean? I had to, because it was driving me insane. Plus, on top of that, you know, everybody like to play games. I'm the type of person, I don't play with love. I don't play with a person's heart. You don't play with, I don't play with people's love. I don't play with people's hearts because I don't like mine played with, right? And I live by the code, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So, you know, she play games with this one and that one, talk here, talk there, and I understand, you know what I mean? You know, everybody need they help. Everybody get their help where they could get it, right? But in the same token, you know, don't beat me in the head with the bullshit, basically. Just don't beat me in the head with the bullshit. Like, I don't want to be a part of something where it's like, you know, I'm not going to say that this person was like sleeping with anybody else, but at the same time, she was like being intimate on a friendly type level with someone else, you know, and play me like I don't know shit, play me like I'm stupid. And that's neither here nor there. That's not even about what I'm talking about, but it is kinda. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. There's a lot of guys that do this, a lot of women that do this. Everybody does these type of things and play games with people. You know what I mean? We glorify it. That's one of the things that fuck up our journey in life. You know what I mean? Being so fucked up to one another that we can't tell the truth, that we can't be honest. You know what I mean? And it's funny because right now you got the LGBTQ thing, right, going on, right? You know what I mean? People being more open about their sexuality and how they want to live their life and what makes them happy, right? I think that they're some of the most honest people out there. To be honest with you, I think the LGBTQ are more honest than people trying to act like they straight. Like, yeah, not act like they straight. Pause. But like they straight, like straight people. Because like straight people will hide so many different things, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe that the LGBTQ, you know what I mean, the gays and things like that, or whomever, they hide things too, and they have their secrets and they do their thing. But a lot of them will let you know, hey, I'm pansexual, I'm you know, homosexual, I'm what is the next one? I don't know all the different sexuals, transsexual, and all that, all the different stuff, right? All the different shit. And it's like they'll be honest whether they want to be with one partner or two people, or they got this boyfriend and that boyfriend here, or this girlfriend and that boyfriend, and however they doing it, right? Some of them will be more honest and upfront about that. You know what I mean? More than a straight man or straight woman would be. That got people sliding in their DMs and doing this and doing that and having secret friendships with people and shit like that and sneaky linking and all that crazy shit. It's for the birds. It's not for me. You know, I like traditional things, right? And maybe traditional things is, all this, playing around and shit. I don't know. But I'm a different type of person. I don't like to be played because I don't play with nobody. I don't like to play with nobody because I don't like being played. It hurts if you don't know what's going on, what's truly going on in a person that you're in a person's that you're dealing with life. If you really don't know what's going on, if they're hiding things from you, if they're not saying what's on their mind to you, then it's a problem. It's a problem. You have to be completely honest with somebody, especially if you're sleeping with them at night. If you're sleeping with somebody at night and you don't know exactly what's on their mind and what's going on with them and things like that, then it's a problem. You have a problem, right? Now, the caveat to that is if what's on their mind they need help with, then you have to know because they need to get help. You need to know what's on their mind. That's not even a caveat. That's real shit. That's like straightforward. You need to know what's on their mind because some people replay shit in their mind and they let past traumas still sit on their mind and affect their everyday life. When it's from the past, some things that you've been through it's done. It's over with. Leave it alone. Leave it there. Leave it in the past. But they'll continue to think about this and harbor those same feelings and that same energy and and it's like, God, like, especially if it's on repeat. God, like, please help this person. Please. Like, to be honest with you, to be real, like sitting here being real, I ask the creator to help people like that. I go through things. Every now and then I tear up. I cry about some shit that I went through, or a loved one that I lost, or something that you know what I mean? And I get those sometimes. But I don't dwell in it. I don't dwell in it. It's just a thought. It's just a feeling. It's just a passing emotion for the moment. You know what I mean? In the moment. You know, you might feel that. You might feel that regret, this, that. And it's like, you have to let that pass and let those feelings subside. So that way you can get back to living your regular everyday life. If you don't, you just gonna fuck your life up thinking about things that happened yesterday. You fucking your life up thinking about things that happened yesterday. You know? And I'm not perfect, you know, and by any means, I'm not perfect, you know? I strive for proficiency, not perfection, right? And I don't want to do bad by nobody, but if somebody continues to just do me wrong, I gotta find an exit strategy. Whether you like my exit strategy or not, I'm getting the fuck out. Period. I gotta go. Whether or not you like the exit strategy, whether you like how I moved or whatever, if I gotta go, I gotta go. You gotta be true to thyself. So the first person I'm gonna be true to is me. I bite my tongue and pull a lot of punches because I don't like to hurt nobody or see nobody hurt. I'd rather try to figure out a way of conveying information to somebody that I love without hurting them, right? At the same time, sometimes they need to hear the hurt part so they could get over it. But some people don't deal that well with that. Some people lash out. They think you're attacking them. I got accused of attacking, verbally attacking. I don't verbally attack I don't verbally attack. I live and let live. If I can say something to you that'll help you out, then I will. But other than that, I live and let live. Man. Well, on that note, I'm going to end it right there, man. I appreciate y'all for watching and listening, watching or listening on YouTube and Spotify. I appreciate you for watching, listening to my podcast. I do appreciate all the love, all the help, all the, you know what I mean, whatever, the well wishes, you know. And I thank God that he always, I thank the Creator for always making sure that there's a way through for me, that there's a way to get through whatever it is that I go through. I just thank the Creator for that, and pray that the Creator still see me through every day, because I just want to live, man. I just want to live and be there for my children, you know what I mean, and provide a better future, you know what I mean. I gotta get stable. I gotta get more stable so I can make sure my children has a stable foundation for them, you know what I mean. But y'all have a blessed one. As you can see, day turned into night over here, so y'all have a blessed one. It's Mr. Pagan signing off of another episode of God Concept Podcast. Peace.